You're listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. During the next hour, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ronnie Faison, proud principal at St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Ling from the Office of Catholic Schools with the Archdiocese of Chicago, and we'd like to welcome you to this edition of Catholic Schools Today. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio 750 AM, and we're also live streaming to our Facebook community and also on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. Hi, Ronnie. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a month. It's really great to see you again.
How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. We're counting down to back to school, which feels really, really great. It's exciting to be back at school this year.
And scary, all at the same time.
For sure.
As a principal, I'm counting down the days. We're T-minus like 5 days until the first day of school, which is really exciting.
Yeah. What's the best thing you're looking forward to as you start this year?
Just having our kiddos back. I think more than anything, they need to be with us. They need to be close to us. We need to be able to show them the love and the support that they need. So just having them back in the building is going to be a special thing for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, good to be here with you.
For sure. I can't wait. We got some exciting stuff happening today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I'm a new aunt. I'm going to share that because I'm going to selfishly add that into it. I'm a new aunt. We just had a baby over the weekend. My sister just had a little one. So we spent the weekend just in love with him. So we a lot of blessings over the weekend.
Fantastic. That's two for you. Two nephews.
I know, two. This morning, we're pleased to welcome guests from St. John Brefeuf School to discuss the success of school outreach project to weave mats for people experiencing homelessness. In the second part of our show, we'll be pleased to welcome our new incoming superintendent, Mr. Greg Richmond, to discuss his experience as an educational leader on a global level and hear his thoughts about priorities for the future of Catholic education in the Archdiocese of Chicago.
Before we speak to our guest, we'd like to welcome Matt Walter to the show. Matt serves as the Chief Operating Officer for the Office of Catholic Schools. Matt, if you're with us, welcome to the show. We'd love to hear a little bit more from you about an update regarding the newly released health and safety protocols for Catholic schools in the Archdiocese as we gear up for the next year in a few weeks.
Good morning, Melissa. As you said, I'm Matt Walter, Chief Operating Officer for the Office of Catholic Schools, and I'm here today to give an update on our revised school safety protocols for the 2021-2022 academic year. It really is hard to believe, but it's already been 2 months since our schools let out for the summer after a safe and successful year of in-person learning. Last year, our students were able to outperform national norms in both math and reading compared to both schools during the pandemic, but what's amazing is they also outperformed pre-pandemic scores. We're able to achieve these results through the hard work of our teachers and staff in providing a safe in-person learning environment for our students. It truly is remarkable looking back on last year. We're now looking forward and getting ready for another successful school year. Summer break for schools is drawing to a close, and our first schools will begin reopening for in-person learning as soon as August 16th, which is just next week, with all of our schools beginning the 2021-2022 school year by the first week of September. It's an exciting time to be back in the classroom as we look to restore some of the activities we had to suspend last year. And while it is exciting, we also recognize challenges remain because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. In anticipation of welcoming back our students and families, and building on last year's successful in-person learning, we issued late last week new guidance on how we plan to keep our students and school employees safe. Citing increasing rates of infections and hospitalizations, including a growing number of children, Governor Pritzker last week issued a mandate requiring masks be worn in all public and private schools in Illinois. Under this mandate, all adult school employees and children grades pre-K through 12 will be required to wear masks indoors, regardless of vaccination status. However, students and staff will not be required to wear masks for outdoor activities, including sports. The Archdiocese of Chicago's Catholic schools will comply with the state of Illinois mandate requiring masks for everyone entering our school buildings while indoors and regardless of vaccination status. This applies to teachers, staff, parents, students, and volunteers, basically anyone entering a school building this school year. We will continue to monitor mandates and guidance from government officials and public health authorities for potential changes to masking policies and other protocols. When conditions allow, our preference is to transition to a policy under which vaccinated individuals will not be required to wear a mask indoors. But wearing masks indoors for now will dramatically reduce the need to quarantine students and staff in the event of a positive case, as health officials no longer require quarantines in schools as long as a student is wearing a mask and can maintain 3 feet of distancing from the positive individual. So that's a huge benefit to wearing masks. Meanwhile, we are pleased that many other protocols that were in place last school year will no longer be in effect, and we will be returning to near normal pre-pandemic operations. For example, there will no longer be a division of classes into what we called cohorts last year, and no pandemic related arrival departure requirements such as wellness checks that we did last year and staggered arrival and departure times. We'll also resume school masses, more traditional lunch schedules, and other services, including libraries, science and computer labs, and getting back to more traditional parent-teacher conferences. We'll resume regular before and after school care programs for those schools that suspended or modified those programs last year. And then last but not least, extracurricular activities, including athletics, theater, music, clubs, and field trips will be back. This will afford our students the well-rounded experience Catholic schools are known for. The Office of Catholic Schools wants to provide the most up-to-date information as quickly as possible to eliminate any guessing or concern among parents, which is why you can go to our website at schools.archchicago.org and click on the drop-down menu for curriculum and resources to read the operating framework under the Back to School 2021-2022 webpage. In that framework, we provide details on quarantine procedures and travel guidance. We'll regularly update our COVID protocols throughout the year based on the latest information, and we will update our parent guidance on the website whenever conditions change. We also join Pope Francis, Cardinal Blaise Cupich, and our bishops in encouraging all eligible people, including school employees and students 12 years or older, to get vaccinated. We know the setback in controlling the COVID-19 pandemic is discouraging and that many parents out there will be frustrated by the continued need for masks, but we are doing our part to limit the impact of this deadly virus on our communities and protect our children. We hope you'll join us in looking beyond the individual preferences and do what's best for our entire community. So from everyone at the Office of Catholic Schools and our brave employees who will go back to work every day to provide our students with the best education possible, we thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for being here with us this morning and for sharing those health and safety protocols and updates with all of our listeners and our broader community. As you said, it truly is a credit to our principals and teachers and staff and our parents and our families for really working together in solidarity to do their best to make our communities safe and healthy and places of good, secure learning for all of our students and for all of our employees as we start the new school year. And Matt, I think it's a huge credit to you too. I know you've been really, really invested in this effort and you care deeply about the health and safety of our students and everyone in our schools. So thank you for all that you do, and thank you to everyone in our school communities for partnering with us to start the year safely and securely with everybody. Thank you. We are going to cut to a quick break, but stay with us. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
You're not Julius Caesar, okay?
No, I'm not. You didn't think big.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Caring adults make all the difference in the lives of adolescents. Catholic Charities understands this, and our mentorship program provides a free opportunity for youth living in Lake County to spend time, virtually, with volunteers who genuinely care about them. This program is ideal for youths age 9 to 12 who may need support navigating the challenges of childhood and early adolescence. Our amazing volunteers serve as friends and role models who help youth recognize their strengths and empower them to reach their full potential. Catholic Charities conducts a thorough background check on every volunteer, and our program coordinator closely monitors and supports each relationship. Mentoring is a fun after-school program that is totally different from remote learning. Virtual group sessions help youth enjoy fun activities with their peers, too. We're connecting youth with great role models. Join us today. To learn more, call 312-937-3375. That's 312-937-3375.
Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Ronnie Faison, the proud principal at St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Office of Catholic Schools at the Archdiocese of Chicago. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio, 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago.
When the pandemic limited what her 8th grade confirmation students could do for a service project, St. John Brefeuf school teacher Rebecca Gianelli challenged them to find a project that they could do inside. One of her students found a project on the Chicago Cares website that showed how you can make mats for people experiencing homelessness out of plastic shopping bags. The idea resonated with the students, several of whom attended a leadership day at the Illinois Holocaust Museum last year, and learned that by 2050 it is expected that there will be more plastic in the oceans than fish. The students embraced the project, and it has been going strong since October, with schools and parish families donating bags. I am so proud and happy to introduce Ms. Gianelli and Mr. Taylor, assistant principal at St. John Brefeuf.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are the two of you?
We're good. How are you?
We're wonderful. We're wonderful. Well, we're happy to have you today, and we just love the idea of the project and what you were able to do with your kiddos. Even in the midst of all of the things that were going on with the pandemic, you really shined, and you allowed something amazing to happen. Can you talk to us a little bit about the project and how it really speaks to the mission of your school?
Sure. So, as you said, we were looking for something for the kids to do because going out was not an option for confirmation projects. So I really empowered them to go out and make a difference, be the hands and feet of Jesus. And we found the project originally through Chicago Cares, but it fell apart quickly. Chicago Cares was no longer accepting the yarn balls, and we weren't sure what we could do. So then we hooked up through our maintenance man, John Mazer, helped us get through our Uncle Pete's ministry project, which originally was part of the Vincent de Paul Society. Uncle Pete was a beyond generous man in our community, and he always was somebody who went out and gave more than he had, but he found people who could use the resources that they had to share. In fact, his organization now continues to make lunches collect school supplies, gives lunches to the homeless, sack dinners to the homeless. And one of their volunteers, Jim Berger, made these looms for us. And we were able to then take the plastic bags, and turn them into links and make the looms that made the mats. And then we were able to make the mats and give them to our parish organization. And then the parish organization delivered the mats with the dinners to the homeless population in the city of Chicago. And in fact, just before the school year ended, we ended up getting a thank you card from one of the organizations that they gave it to, saying that just as summer was starting, somebody was already using our mats. So they're not sitting in a warehouse, they're not sitting around, it's not like somebody's just collecting them in a closet, but they're already being out and about in the community.
That's fantastic.
So it's continuing Uncle Pete's legacy, even though he's no longer with us.
It's really fantastic. Rebecca, it's so great to see you, and what a nice surprise this morning. Rebecca and I have worked together on a few other initiatives with the Office of Catholic Schools, with Catholic Identity in our schools, and also with the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. So I'm wondering, Rebecca, if you might be willing to talk a little bit about your own relationship with the Holocaust Museum and Education Center and how this project was born out of a leadership day at the museum.
Right. So every year, the leadership or the Illinois Holocaust Museum hosts a leadership day. Well, they have one for 5th and 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, and then high school. We were at the one for the 7th and 8th grade, in which they had a speaker, and his name eludes me right now, but he was talking about how we need to think about saving our environment before we can save our people. We have to save our people as well as save our environment. And he was working on a project in Bali and saving the water. And he was showing the kids how the rivers were just inundated with plastic, and how they couldn't treat the people who had no water. And the reason that they had no water was because the waterways were just polluted with plastic to the point where there was more plastic than water. And he said that if we continue doing it the way we're doing this, there's going to be more plastic in the water than fish. And that just devastated our 7th graders at the time. They are now freshmen in high school, starting school today, so I'm sending a prayer out to all of them as they begin their high school endeavors and hopefully become the leaders in their schools as well, and I'm sure they will. So they wanted to do something for this project, what we were doing, that could help with the environment. That's what they wanted to do, but also help feed people, because they know the two are hand in hand. Yeah. You can go plant a tree, and while that will help somebody in 50 years, they wanted to help somebody now.
Yeah,
they
it's
wanted
great
to
to
do
see
something that made a difference today.
Absolutely, and great to see those intersections between ways to reach out and to help in our communities that touch so many people in really profound ways.
You know, this is just such an impactful piece. And I think as we think of students and kiddos, it must have been challenging to have these conversations with them, right? It's not an easy subject. You were creating mats, to tackle this very big social issue. So how did you create those conversations and ways for them to lean into the discomfort and kind of work through those emotions and feelings?
It was part of our confirmation classes as part of the Catholic social teachings. So that's kind of where it led a little bit into it as well. I was blessed to be able to combine the few together. And just the whole idea that one of their challenges, one of their callings as being confirmed Catholics, as their goal, is that they are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus while they're here on earth. And to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to be here on earth, we are called to care for one another. And that's how I opened the door. And that's what I said. And I also used my leaders. So Kate, who found the project on Chicago Cares, Anthony and Isabella, and Alyssa, who were at the leadership day. I used them and said, what did you find? What can you tell me about it? Why is this project important? And then the other leaders who stepped up as we were continuing to go along the way, because everybody had something to bring. Everybody knew something or knew someone or figured something out.
Yeah.
And some of them just loved the weaving aspect of it. It was very therapeutic. When we were locked up and couldn't do anything, I said, if we spend the 4 days learning doctrine, if we spend the 4 days preparing for confirmation, we're going to spend the 5th day doing something about it. And that's what was really nice about doing this project.
Ms. Gianelli, was there a moment for you where you were going through this process, and I'm sure it wasn't easy, right? As we're coordinating anything as leaders, you're grabbing this and you're weaving here and you're sending it there. But what was that moment for you with a kiddo that made it all worth it, right? Like that aha moment that you experienced with a kiddo, in the midst of that project that you said all of the running around and coordinating made it worth it because?
When we hit in October, I think it was December, right before Christmas, and I said, I think we're done because confirmation prep was finished. Confirmation prep was just about finished. They weren't going to be confirmed until end of February, beginning of March, but we were done with our confirmation hours for the most part. That was the goal that the church our parish had set. We had to turn in all of our paperwork. And I said to them, when we start the new year, we're done for now. We're ready to go. I think I've lost them. Okay. We're ready to go. And they're like, we can't be done. There's still more mats that have to be done. There's still more people that we have to help. And what are we going to do? Why are we stopping? Mm-hmm. And then the next moment was when the kids asked, can we make videos so that you can continue this project for next year?
Wow.
We want to teach the 6th and 7th graders how to do this. Because when we graduate, we don't want this project to be finished. We had started this as just a couple of months project, and now I have bags sitting in my classroom. I have looms in my classroom. I have Jim Berger willing to make more mats for us. And they were like, let's continue this project through. We want to make this our impact at SJB. We want to be known as the class who started this.
That's really amazing, Rebecca and Adam. It's just a phenomenal opportunity to grow leadership in your students and to allow students to just take ownership and have autonomy for something that they really deeply care about. And it sounds like they really are invested in this project and they really want to do something positive for people in their community. On that note, and you've spoken to this a little bit, but I'd like to talk a little bit more intentionally about how this project has helped to perhaps connect your school and your parish in more profound ways. Like, to what extent has the parish really gotten on board, and to what extent has the parish really been supportive in ways that you can showcase growth between your school and parish?
Well, if it wasn't for Jim Berger, we never would have been a parish project. If it wasn't for Jim, the project probably would have died as well, because I can't crochet, and that was the original project. In fact, when I first started here, there was a crocheting club, and I was actually said, Miss Janelli, if you would donate the yarn, that would be great. That's how bad it was. Because, my grandmother one time gave me money and said, here's the money, go, you can buy yourself a blanket. It's just not my thing. And that was the original project, was you make these yarn balls and you crochet them. So it would have died.
Well, I think it's amazing what she's doing, at the school. I think they took a project that was meant to be this tiny little thing, and then they watched it flourish throughout the time, that they were working with it. And I think that's just such an amazing thing, and really gives ownership to students to really continue that vision that we have for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing.
It is amazing. And I love the idea of a confirmation project, not just being stoic as something that happens for a few weeks or a few months, and then once confirmation happens, it's over. Continuing that is a showcase of what we want for the faith life of our students, not to stop at confirmation, which is what it tends to do sometimes, but we really want students to understand that their role in their community, their role in their church, their role as Catholic citizens of our communities is really something that they can continue as they move into adulthood, to high school and beyond.
Right.
Yep.
Agreed.
Oh, here we go. We're back.
There's Rebecca. Nice to have you back.
There we go. Technology, whatever.
So, Rebecca, we were just talking.
Jim also delivers the mats then to the community for us.
It's really fantastic. And Ronnie and I were just talking about how it's impressive that the confirmation project that was started by one group of students has moved forward into subsequent years. So we're wondering, what are some plans as you continue to move it forward into this next year and into coming years? Do you want to develop it in any way? Do you see it growing in a new direction? Like, what kind of ideas do you and the kids have?
Well, I'm going to continue it with my religion classes, and then because we'll be able to start meetings up again and have clubs again. Our junior, we've changed the name of it. Our junior our Uncle Pete's ministry program will also be continuing it. So they'll be the ones responsible for the flyers for collecting the bags and organizing the bags and folding all of the bags and that type of a thing. So our younger grades, which starts 4th grade, will be involved in it in some way, some capacity. We're working with Jim to help with the collecting of more bags because he has more parishes. That was one other thing that happened from this. We've been contacted by other parishes to see how they can start this project. He's worked with, I believe, Mary Seat of Wisdom, has a project going with them. He works with a charter school in Chicago, and I think 2 other parishes have already contacted, how can we do this in their schools? So we've reached out. I myself can't take much more of it because we just don't have the capacity, and I don't have the kids, and I have to teach. If I could, this could become a full project for somebody. It could become a full-time, gig, and that would be great, but I just don't have, that's not my passion. My passion is reaching out and empowering the kids.
How many mats have you made to date? Do you know?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Do you know how
Can
many
repeat
mats that you and the kiddos have made to date?
We made 18 mats by the end of the school year, and we made 7 pillows.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
so
wonderful.
It was. They were in like overdrive towards the end of the year. They wanted to get to 20. We didn't quite get to 20, but our initial goal was only to get 8 done. So we did more than what we anticipated getting done.
So how long does it take to make one?
Well, it's 500 bags to make one
my goodness.
blanket.
Wow.
And it took us initially approximately 5 class periods to get one done. But then once they started to get into the groove and they understood what they had to do, it took us about 2.5 class periods to get one done.
And did the students find a pattern online, or how did they even learn how to make something like this? Ronnie and I were talking prior to the show, and we both said we had never heard of the possibility of doing something like this out of plastic grocery bags.
So we, through Chicago Cares, we learned how to cut and link the bags. And then through Jim, we learned how to, Jim taught me how to do it because it was, again, in the middle of the pandemic. So I couldn't have anybody come in and teach us how to do this. Mm-hmm. So Jim taught me how to do it, and then I shared it with them. And then we just took it from there and kind of made it our own. It was a lot of trial and error. So in the very beginning, we had a lot of bags that we weren't sure what we wanted to do with, but we knew we didn't want to throw them into landfills. And that's where the pillows came in. Mm-hmm. So we used the scraps to stuff the pillows. So that's kind of where it all went apart, you know, and it went there. And so now that we have it, I had to learn how to redo all of the steps because for a long time wasn't sure what I was doing because they were the experts. But then between their videos and me learning it, now I can teach the next group of kids how to do what they need to do.
That's wonderful. You know, you are combating these big issues, these social justice issues. Is this the first step in other projects that you envision you and the kiddos doing as you plan for the next year, the next group of kiddos that are practicing toward confirmation, or are there other projects that you are planning to do with them?
Well, I'm leaving it up to them. What's important to this next group? Mm-hmm. I want to empower them. So this was important to the class of 2021. So now what's important to the class of 2022? I don't know. So as long as it's within our realm, as long as it's safe, as long as it meets one of the Catholic social teachings, I'm all for it. I'm willing to see what we can do.
That's incredible. I just think, I give you so much credit, right? You're teaching, and, as the teacher, you're often asked to be a superhero in a million different ways. And there you are, collecting bags and making mats and working with your local parishes. And I just, I am always blown away all the time by everything that I hear our teachers doing in the classrooms. And so I just applaud you for all the work that you're doing with your kiddos and for really pushing them to understand that no one will come and save them, right? They have to do the work to save themselves and to work and continue to sustain their community. And so I think that's so special that you're embedding that into who they are.
And as they said, they didn't think they were doing anything special. This was just something that it was really easy and it was fun. I mean, that was the biggest part of this. Come to our classroom on a Friday and it sounded like we were having a party, and it really was. It was a lot of fun. And I didn't realize the impact until Channel 5 contacted us.
Wow.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't really think we were doing anything all that special. And now it was Channel 5. It was, the newspaper, and now you guys. And it was just, we were doing this because this was the need that was need to be met. And that's all I keep trying to impart on everybody. It was just, you have a need, do it, fill it.
So it's Friday afternoon, it sounds like, at Rebecca's classroom. Maybe Ronnie and I will show up and join in some mat-making festivities. I think I would love that.
Well, I might be.
Our way. We'll take them.
I might be on your way. I don't know how well I'll weave. I might have to buy the blanket. I think it might be me.
With the jewel bags are pretty forgiving, let me tell you.
So, Ms. Janelli, tell me what we should know about St. John as we are closing up the segment. What are special things that we should know about and that you love about your school every day?
I love the fact that it's a family atmosphere. I love the fact that everybody here is valued and respected. The fact that we have room for, everyone, and we want their opinions to be heard, and we're trying to educate, we are educating the leaders of tomorrow.
Love that.
And that's where this is coming from.
That is wonderful. If we wanted more information on St. John, where would we find it?
We are found at sjbschool.org, or you can call our office at 847-966-3266.
And is there a way for us to take part in any of the activities that you're doing with the MATs, anywhere we can find information about those things?
We're getting that up and running
okay,
right now, but you'll see the segment for the news program on our website, and you can drop off the mats at our parish at 8301 North Harlem Avenue in Niles.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you spending the morning with us. We're going to take a pause now for a break, but stay with us. There's more Catholic Schools Today coming your way.
Thank you.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Catholic Charities has continued to respond to the needs of people who come to us for assistance. More than 850,000 meals and food parcels have been offered to those who are struggling with food insecurity. Over 108,000 homelessness prevention hotline calls have been answered. Over 22,000 people have received mental health services, and $2 million in financial assistance has been provided to keep people housed. If you or someone you know needs assistance, email us at gethelp@catholiccharities.net. That's gethelp@catholiccharities.net. Or call 312-655-7700. That's 312-655-7700. Before, during, and after COVID-19, Catholic Charities is here for you.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
When I came back to class on my first day, like one of the best days in this entire year. Like it felt so nice, like to come and see all my friends together again.
The teacher and student relationship has been very strong.
I think it's best to be in the building because you need to build relationships with students. It's kind of hard to do that through a camera.
I think we knew that we wanted to bring kids back. We knew that our kids needed it.
It was like battle planning. I mean, it was strategic planning.
I stood in a lot of different spaces in this building and said, how do I accommodate students in the best possible way?
Walking in the hallway, bathroom breaks, recess in a whole new different way.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I had a responsibility to my community and to our kids to ensure that I was giving them what they needed, social, emotionally, physically.
It's amazing, the test scores, there are arrows that show their growth, and these arrows are like this long, showing how much they've shot up. I think they were all just like ready and waiting to get back into school.
But we made it, and I'm not surprised at all.
Yes, I'm so happy. I can't imagine myself going into any other school.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. Every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Archdiocese of Chicago presents programming about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back, everyone, to Catholic Schools Today. I'm Ronnie Faison, the proud principal of St. Francis de Sales High School.
And I'm Melissa Link from the Archdiocese of Chicago Office of Catholic Schools. We're broadcasting live on WNDZ Radio, 750 AM, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. The Archdiocese of Chicago has announced the appointment of Greg A. Richmond as Superintendent of our Catholic schools, effective August 16th. Richmond has dedicated his career to creating innovative school options for families locally and at the state, national, and international levels. He was most recently founder of the Richmond Strategy Group and is a senior fellow at the Future Ed think tank at Georgetown University and a Pahara Fellow at the Aspen Institute. From 1994 until 2005, Richmond worked within the Chicago Public Schools, where he led the district's efforts to partner with educators and community organizations to create new schools. He founded the district's charter schools office in 1997 and later led all new school development activities in the district. From 2005 through 2019, Richmond was the chief executive officer of the National Association of Charter School Authorizers. Under his leadership, the association established the nation's professional standards for authorizing charter schools. He testified repeatedly before the United States Congress at the invitation of both Democrats and Republicans, and worked with dozens of cities and states to implement the authorizing policies and practices that lead to quality schools. In 2017, he was inducted into the National Charter Schools Hall of Fame. From 2011 to 2015, Richmond served as the founding chairman of the Illinois State Charter School Commission, working with educators and communities throughout the state to evaluate proposals for new charter schools and monitor charter schools in Chicago, the suburbs, and downstate. Richmond has advised education officials in England, Abu Dhabi, and Chile in the development of charter-like school systems in their countries. He holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and a master's degree from the University of Minnesota. Welcome, Greg Richmond, to the show this morning. How are you?
Good morning to both of you. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to our conversation, and good morning to all our listeners.
And welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm although I haven't yet started, I'll start a week from today. I'm ramping up, eager to get to work full time. There's so many good things happening in our Catholic schools, so I'm excited to join the team.
Absolutely, and we're eager to have you. You have one more week of semi-freedom until we're going to really welcome you to our office space and work diligently with you as we look forward to the new school year, which we're happy to partner with you to kick off. So, Greg, you have a long history of working with schools in the Chicago area, particularly in the area of charter schools. So we're curious about what inspired you to become a leader in charter school education to begin with on the front end.
Yeah, good question. I've worked my entire career in education. Actually, both of my parents were teachers. My mother was a fifth grade Catholic school teacher in our parish, and my father was a public school band teacher. So I grew up in education and always have thought of myself as supporting all forms of quality education. I happened to get mostly into the charter school route over the years while I was working with Chicago Public Schools and then nationally. But I never really considered myself to be only an advocate for charter schools. To me, I'm a supporter of any good school. I want all of our schools to be good. I want all of our parents to be able to find a school that best meets the needs and interests of their child. We all know, every teacher knows, every parent knows that each child is unique. If you're a parent within your own family, you may have two children who are quite different from each other, in terms of their interests, in terms of their learning styles. So I think we as a society, we do better when we have multiple types of schools available to meet the many different needs and interests of families. So charter schools is one part of that, but a neighborhood public school can do that, a magnet school, a private school, and certainly our Catholic schools do a great job serving so many kids. So for me, I've always been a supporter of any type of quality education. A lot of that has been in the charter space, but not exclusively. And I'm looking forward to spending more of my time with Catholic schools.
I love that richness of your background, right? Of you almost being a legacy, educator parents, and then they kind of led you to where you are today. I think that's a beautiful thing. What drew you specifically to Catholic school system and the opportunity to lead the Archdiocese of Chicago at this time in your career?
Yeah, great question. As we look around in our society these days, we see a lot of, I think, a lot of loneliness, some isolation, some division. And I really think our Catholic Church and schools can play a strong role at creating community for students and creating community for the students' families. So certainly our schools have strong academics, but a school is more than academics. It's about social and emotional learning, and in our Catholic schools, it's around strong faith formation and strong values. So we're really fortunate in Catholic schools to be able to offer a strong educational program in all of those areas, academically, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. So that really attracted to me. I mean, it's been part of my life all along. My children went to Catholic schools, and I was very involved. Both my wife and I were very involved in our parish and in our children's elementary school, Catholic elementary school. But it strikes me right now in our society where we see a lot of loneliness and some division. Our Catholic schools and the church can really bring people together. I'm looking forward to working with our parishes and schools to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think speaking for Ronnie and myself for sure, that's why we love being leaders in Catholic schools, is because of that holistic experience that you're talking about, of really being attuned to our faith life and our citizenship in our community and social emotional needs of our students. And of course, like all of that rooted in a strong, excellent academic experience for our students is something that I think drives both of us, and we're excited that it drives you as a leader in school communities as well, particularly Catholic school communities. I know our principals, any of our principals in grammar schools who are listening, are aware that we really try to set goals and work towards 3 different areas of priorities, that being operational vitality, academic excellence, and Catholic identity as we move through the school year. So we're wondering what sort of priorities you might have in those areas as well as you look to onboard in your position, and how you would also like to help boost in those areas in your first year as superintendent.
Sure, great question. And I have been sharing 3 goals of mine, which align very much with what you just said, what I'd like to be able to see us accomplish in the coming years in Catholic schools. And they're all centered around the word growth or grow. I'd like to see us grow our enrollment in our Catholic schools so that we're reaching more children and we're reaching more families. I think we can do that. I'd like to see us continue to grow our students academically, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. And then I'd like to have our schools help grow the church, so we're bringing more families into the faith. So those are 3 goals I've been sharing with people. And I think for me, a number of ways, a number of pathways can lead us to that. And first and foremost is the people who work in our schools. Our principals, our teachers, our staff. Schools are places where people come together. And we will get as far as those good people are able to take us. So we really need to support our principals, teachers, and staff in our school. I think principals especially, the school to me is a community. And I've shared with people over the years that my experience, the unit of instruction is the school, the entire school building. That entire school community is teaching each child. It's not just one teacher alone in a classroom. That teacher and her classroom are part of a larger school community. So that the principal, if you'll be as maybe the coach of that school community and the leader of that community. So I want us in the Office of Catholic Schools to do everything we can to support the principal, support the teachers and staff so they can be successful. So if you're a principal listening to this broadcast this morning, let us know, let me know. What can we do to help you? What can we do to support you? Are there things we could do to make your life easier in some administrative way so you can focus more of your time on kids and on teaching and learning? So that's going to be huge to me. The emphasis on the people in our schools is number one. After that, I'd also like our schools and working with them to explore what are some ways we might be able to strengthen what we're offering to families. We live in a society now where we are all accustomed to having information personalized and customized to us at every moment. So what can we do in the world of education in terms of diversifying what we have to offer? And we had some schools in the Archdiocese start dual language programs within the past year. Well, maybe we should do that. Maybe we could offer more things like that, or international baccalaureate programs. Or perhaps there's a school out there that would like to emphasize or specialize in the performing arts, or a high school that would like to get into the trades. I think there are so many things we can do to strengthen and diversify our programs. And then the third piece is, honestly, we have to do a better job telling our story. I want every family in the Archdiocese, which is Cook and Lake counties, I'd like every family, every parent, whether they're Catholic or not, to consider whether a Catholic school is the right school for their child. It may be, it may not be, but I'd like everyone to know that it's an option for them. So let's get out there and let's tell our story well. This broadcast is one way of doing that. So this is a good start, and let's do more of this.
And Mr. Richmond, I think it's so special that you say that. I often tell our kiddos, right, is that the most important thing that anyone can say to you is, I see you, right? I may not understand, I may not be able to empathize, but I see you. And I think that's a super powerful thing to say. As a principal of a tiny little school on the Southeast side, I'm an alumnus of the school. I lead differently because I love my community and I'm from there. And so I think, the things that you're talking about, I spoke to a group of leaders on Friday, and my message to them, to these principals, was find your tribe. Find the people that can support you, because this job, this leadership role is lonely. So find the people that aren't just going to tell you you're doing a great job, but are going to give you that constructive criticism to make you a better leader. So I think all of the things that you're saying are wonderful things that, put our hearts at ease and make us look forward to all the work that we'll do together in the coming school year. But with that in mind, what are the things that you're most excited about? As you look at the next week, right, and you're entering into this new position, what are you most excited about?
Well, I'm most excited about meeting all the great people in our schools, the kids, the families, the teachers, the principals, the staff, and seeing all the great things and fun things people are doing in our schools. The beginning of the new school year is kind of exciting when you think about meeting new teachers, maybe signing up for, the new sports team this year, playing soccer, whatever you have. It's an exciting time of year at the beginning of the school year. And I just happen to be joining with the Office of Catholic Schools at that same time of year. So I'm a little bit like that kid going back to school after the summer off. And looking forward to meeting my teacher and the principal and hoping everything goes well, right?
It is exciting. It is. And Ronnie's actually meeting her teachers today. The first day of in-service at St. Francis de Sales is today, which is phenomenal.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific. And you're starting your day joining us. So thank you for that.
It's a great thing. And I'm personally inviting you out to see us. Anytime you'd like to come and visit, you have an open invitation.
Thank you very much. I will definitely take you up on that.
Wonderful.
And Greg, the last question for today's show has to do with how schools will open this fall during the COVID pandemic. So Matt Walter did join us this morning earlier in the broadcast to share a little bit about the health and safety protocols that our schools will follow when we return to school in the classrooms this month. But as we end the show today, we're wondering if there's anything that you might add to help our listeners understand the kind of steps that the Archdiocese is taking towards protecting the health and safety of our students and our communities and our Catholic schools.
Sure. Really important question, so thank you. This is on the top of mind for so many parents and principals and teachers and staff as we get ready to return to school, is to wonder how is it going to work this year. And a few thoughts to share. One, we all know, we all see that this virus and the pandemic seems to be changing daily. I mean, every morning I feel like I'm reading about some new development, some new information. So we expect things to continue to evolve. The way we begin the school year in the next few weeks may be different than what it looks like in a few months and by the end of the year. So I just want to let people know that this is evolving and we expect it to continue to evolve. I especially want to recognize and thank everyone for last school year. As we head into this next school year, we just can't say enough appreciation and thanks for how hard everyone worked last year to provide in-person instruction. We were one of the largest school systems in the country that had in-person instruction every day last year, and that's an incredible accomplishment for our teachers, staff, and students. But the big thought I'd like to share with people is that whatever the situation we find ourselves in at any given moment this school year, that this is an opportunity for our Catholic school community to come together. I mean, this is an opportunity for all of us to demonstrate our faith, to care for each other, to listen to each other, and to recognize we are all brothers and sisters under God. Not just brothers and sisters of the people who share our opinions, but the brothers and sisters with all of God's children. So I just ask everyone to extend grace to each other in this coming school year. This is hard on everybody, but we can support each other and get through it if we stay together as a community.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Richmond. Those are excellent words of wisdom, and we are grateful for your time with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We want to thank all of you for joining us today. Remember, you can share this program by copying our YouTube link to our social media or email accounts. The program comes your way monthly here on WNDZ Radio, 750 AM, and on our Facebook page and our Archdiocese of Chicago YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. The next time we speak, the new school year will be underway. Good luck and blessings on our Catholic school staff, teachers, and leaders as we anticipate a great new school year. Thank you.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.